What is going on? Welcome to another episode of the Dent Digest live show. What's up, Manny?
It's brutal out here, man. This heat finally
not,
kicked
you
in.
Do,
Listen,
you do not do well with weather.
I don't.
You don't.
And I don't want to complain too much because my respect to all my Texas techs out there. I know they're killing it under worse weather. But my AC's not working, and I decided to set up here in the waiting room. Man, this heat is brutal. So please don't mind me. I'm just gonna oh, it's hot. Aside from that, how are you, Ryan?
I'm doing good. We're busy. We're still dealing with some hail and regular business craziness. Things are good.
Seems like it's hailing like all over the world.
I'm in a group text with a bunch of like shop owners, like a little handful. It's like a little mastermind group that somebody put together, and everybody today was talking about how there is no help, like hail help, because everybody's busy. You know, like us on the East Coast, we get hit later than everybody else. And by the time we get hit, most of those guys are already working. And Texas just keeps getting hit and hit and hit.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I know. It's funny because I know guys from like Germany who are in Texas working, and it's hailing over there too. And it's just like, where do you go? Like, you're right. Everyone's is busy right
everywhere. You know what? It's been a couple slow hail years, since the pandemic and stuff. So it was really slow before the pandemic.
But do you think that could also like be like not a bad thing, but like not a good thing for the industry, because it just means that the more it hails around the world, then the more money the insurance companies have to pay up, right? And at one point, they have to figure out how to save money. So, like I was thinking can they start pushing to like drop prices because they're just paying so much money around the world?
I think that's a couple years away. I think we're still saving them millions and billions of dollars instead of putting roofs on cars or, mudding a quarter, and the amount of time that we're saving on the rental cars. You know what I mean? So I think we're still a saving grace. I think a lot of the insurance companies still don't push PDR. So I think we're a couple years away from that. I think right now with the industry, as long as the repairs are being done correctly, we're okay. But when you get some of these guys that are repairing cars that shouldn't be repairing cars and are putting them out there like bad repairs,
I see.
That's where it'll hurt us. But I don't know. I think it's great that a lot of guys are working.
Right? Yeah.
So how about you? I know you did me a nice little voice Instagram message
Hector
the other day, and was said, "Hey, buddy, I jumped in the pool with all my phones. If you can help me share this." And I was getting calls are like, "Is everything okay with Manny? Because I haven't seen him on Instagram. Is everything okay?" Like, hey, yes, he's okay. He's okay.
Yeah, shout out to Jeff. Even Jeff sent me a message. He was just like, "Hey, man, miss seeing your daily feeds." But yeah, long story short, my girls, they're on vacation. They be jumping on the pool a lot. And on Monday, I'm off Mondays. They're like, "Yeah, let's go to the pool. Let's go to the pool." So yeah, sure enough, let's go to the pool. Both of my phones are in my pocket. Get inside the pool, and 20 minutes later, I'm like, "Oh, my phone." And one of them I think both of them had like slight cracks, from just dropping them. And yeah, they both went completely dead. So I was literally phoneless Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and yeah, just last night I finally got my replacement phone.
So besides the business end of it,
not good.
Besides the business end of it, it was kind of a nice little break for you.
Yes, it was. It's funny that you say that because not too long ago, I was scrolling through the socials and I was like, I kind of did not miss this, like it's cool to just be away sometimes.
Yeah.
But we're back in business. It's crazy how much we do with our phones now. That if something happens with our phones, it's worse than losing our wallets.
Yes.
It's
pretty scary, to be honest with you, how dependent we are.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm old enough to know like a payphone was an actual thing. Like you put money in a phone to make a phone call to call somebody. And it was funny because I got a picture from my buddy Edmund from New York. And he sent me a picture from like our car show days. And he's like, you haven't changed one bit. And you look at the picture and you see me in the background. And I'm on the phone with a BlackBerry with an antenna pulled up. And I'm sitting there on the phone like this. And he's like, you haven't changed one bit. And that was 25 years ago. So, it was funny to look back. So we got a banger of a show. I'm excited about this because, this guy's dad is the reason I'm in PDR. I'm an old Dent Wizard guy. So there's a lot that I owe to his dad.
I think the whole industry owes to him,
It's pretty crazy. But I do have 2 tools I want to talk about.
All right.
Well, I got
first shout outs to everyone watching. Thank you guys for jumping on and being here with us. And if you guys have questions for Jonathan, just feel free, just put them on the comment. And if you could also share the show, that would be awesome.
Share would be huge.
Yeah.
So have you seen these popping up?
Mm-hmm.
From Mr. VIP. Haven't tried it. Got it in the mail today, so I'm excited because we go through a lot of pads and we use a lot of different stuff.
Is that a cutter or is that just for finishing?
I don't know. The videos that I've seen, it's kind of like he's put compound on the panel and ran over this. So I don't know if this is kind of like the denim polishing pad or not. Have you ever seen those? Like Bryce use it and Charlie Molina. It's a denim buffing pad to where you don't have to use toll cut.
Yeah.
You just hit it with the pad. So I don't know. I'm going to let you know. I was excited about this. Mikey saw it today and he was like, oh, I'm going to try that on this. I'm like, no, you're not. So we're going to check these out. I'll let you guys know next show. And I got to bring this on. It's actually not mine. It's actually Josh's, but I need to really look into getting one because he's fixed like 2 hail cars with just this one tool.
Okay.
It's pretty interesting. It's Matt Boyette's Cold Snap.
Oh, yeah.
So at first I was like, I've got cold glue stuff. Do I really need another cold glue set? So Josh has been using my stuff and he's like, I'm buying it. I'm like, okay. So he bought it. And he's done 2 $2,400 hail cars with this tool. The whole car. Never pulled a tool out. Never glue pulled with regular glue. Glue pulled this whole thing with that little bit of cold glue from Sergio's on there.
Wow.
He says, I said, what's your take on it? Because I used it a little bit. And I said, what's your take? And he goes, the pure balance of this is the perfect weight.
Oh, I was just going to ask you that. How is it on the weight? Because
He-
when Matt's using it on the video, it just looks like it's perfect weight. It's perfect balance.
Last night, we've got a ton of hail. So last night I was using it on a hail car too. What I've realized is like Glexo, you stick Glexo on there, put pressure, and you're wiggling it around to really get a pull.
Yeah.
With this tool and Sergio's, you just barely put it on there and snap it.
Really?
A really good tool.
Does that tip feel loose, or is it once it's tight?
It screws in. It's threaded in, and it's got this like rubber gasket on here, so it locks in there.
Oh, that's nice.
It's just a threaded end at the very end.
Yeah.
He doesn't even take this tip off. So like if I buy this, I may even just buy just this and a couple of these smaller tips because he's like, I'm not even going to use the other one because it's just like cold glue. So if you have multiple of these with different glues, like he could tell the temperature was changing with this. So he moved over to the blue glue.
Okay.
And it seemed to pull better. And he was like, I could just swap it out, but he wanted more of these smaller tabs.
And the small tab, what's the thread for that like screw on? Is
I
that
think
the
it's
regular
standard? I think it's a standard. What is that? 5/16.3 or whatever the standard tip is. I think it's the same.
It looks like it is.
But I'm telling you, it's the balance and the pure weight of this was just it's right. He did a good job.
The reason why I was asking is because one of the things that I'm excited about that, and I haven't gotten it, but it's on like must get list right now, is because I do have other tips that I have that I think I got it from not Glexa. There was the other one that Transformers was they created that also had the small tabs. And I was almost wondering if I could use those tabs and screw them on there.
I don't think so. Because Matt and them kind of engineered this tab. So it's different. Like at first I thought it looked like the VIP tab. That I could just take the little piece that screws in there that slides in a standard slide hammer.
Yeah.
But it's different.
Really? Okay.
So
I mean, I get it. You want to keep your own, but that would have been nice
for the price tag of this.
It's not bad either.
It's like $350 or something. But what proved it to me that I really needed it was he fixed those 2 hail cars with this and never touched another tool.
Yeah.
So good job. You know, it's got the little rubber bounce there, so it doesn't really hit you. And you know, it's got a gasket here. It's not supposed to pinch you, but it got me yesterday. But that's just because I'm not used to using it. But you know, there's another one coming out. You got Metal Medics.
I know he's really working on one.
I just don't know about the weight, so I'd like to see it. So, you know, I want to kind of try both to see where they are with that being aluminum. I don't know if the weight's going to be right or not. There's a lot of moving parts in his that I see. The machine work that he does is fantastic.
Yeah,
you know, he's got it down. But we'll have to see when it gets released.
Yeah, no, but great job. Shout out to Matt. Yeah, great job. I've actually, it was funny because I had been talking to Paul in regards to just a slide hammer just for cold glue.
And you know, it's funny, and I'm not picking on the guy, but me and Josh had some good laughs. We were watching Peterson Dent Repair, and he had a really smashed car, and he was using cold glue, and he sticks it on the car, and I hear him, whoop, and he slips and he scratches the car with the slide hammer. But it's happened to all of us. So that's what me and Josh said. Josh and I sat back. We were like, oh my gosh, we've done it all. Matt says it's 5/16, 18th thread.
Yeah, I just saw that.
So, but, you know, he was like, same thing I said to everybody. It happens. You know what I mean?
It does.
It just slides out of that slide hammer. So this kind of eliminates that.
I had a finished Challenger, like ready to go, like, and there's this like very shallow dent on the roof, and it's not even a dent that like I'm getting paid to repair it. I just wanted to take care of it as a courtesy, right? And I put that, you know, and I just go. I didn't even get to wiggle it a lot. Just went, dude, that thing slides off, puts a like sharp crease on the roof of the Challenger. Oh man!
So what did you do? How'd you handle it?
It's one of those things that you're just like, what just happened? Like, let me just close my eyes and everything go away. Nope. And literally the client was on his way to pick up the car. So I just, you know, hot glue, you know, pull a little bit, blend it, and like, hey, you had a really bad but it's just like, you know, it turned out good. I fixed the issue, but man, I couldn't believe it. So yeah, no, that is definitely you know, I feel like it's one of those tools that is just not, it's just not another tool. It's a tool that fixes a problem that we have in the industry.
It does. And I gotta get one. I mean,
like
I said yesterday when he came back and we were working till like 8 or 9 at night, and he let me use this, and it's and I'm a cold glue guy, so I've been a cold glue fan for a long time. So
I was just going to tell you that too, like cold glue too, you know, like if you're not using cold glue at, you know, at this age, it's just like you're missing out. Like cold glue has just came along. Like
I'm sorry to
that's
send them
Sergio
my
stuff.
way.
It's
So, but I'm excited about this show. I'm going to get them on because we got a lot to talk about.
man.
And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. What's up, Jonathan, sir?
There he is.
Good evening, amigos.
What's
What's
up,
up?
Jonathan?
Good to be here with you guys.
We've been
Let me
meaning
see.
to get you on the show ever since MT, and we finally made it happen, man. And we just want to say thank you so much for coming on.
Oh man, it's an honor. It's a privilege. Congrats to you guys that made it the life achievement over there. That was
Oh,
amazing.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
That was
It's terrible.
humble man.
Oh, man.
That's cool. No, it's the right time. It's always the right time. So I don't know, is my light too bright? Because I wanted to bring something from the shop. It's good.
You're good.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Well, thank you for inviting me, guys. It's really cool to be with you.
So I want to say one thing. I want to thank your father for, I guess, introducing this to my world. You know what I mean? Making my career and my life. I'm an old Dent Wizard guy, so I've got some of the original Lido tools. And it's funny because I talked to Rick Hummert, and he's always like, if you see him, you got to tell him more cars. So, it's super cool that, what he's done for a lot of guys in our industry. So
yeah,
I just want to tell you to tell him thank you.
I will. By the way, he was trying to join because I sent him the link, and I think he was struggling. So Alex, I know Alex is connected. If Alex, you can send him a message because I sent him the link, but I don't know if he's gonna be able to. So he was kind of confused with the time. But thank you, man. It's pretty humbling, guys, to see, coming technicians from all ages, from all around the world, and just, squeezing my dad's hand, giving him a hug, taking a picture. It's pretty humbling to see it, and he is my mentor too. He trained me 3 times.
Wow.
And he never gave up on me, because in 97, that's when I call it, I remember, because I was getting out of high school and I didn't want it, I didn't want it, but it was summer in Argentina. That's what I was raised. I was born in Australia, raised in Argentina, and by God's grace, live here in America. So 97, it was summer in Argentina. In summer, it was those 3 months that I didn't want to miss. And my dad and my mom, they just insisted. And I said, I'm going to take it. But it was boot camp, man. It was boot camp.
You know what my wife said tonight? My wife said,
yeah.
My wife said, the Dent Wizard guys that have been taught by Dent Wizard old school, were just built different. Because it was like a boot. Even though your father was involved with Dent Wizard in the beginning, all those things still carried over. So I know exactly what you're talking about, that it was no joke.
Well, this is
he didn't take it easy on you.
No, the contrary. The pressure was on me, because he was he was the man. And yeah, man, I remember, because we used to live like an hour away from the shop, a little bit towards Fort Lauderdale. So we used to wake up 4 a.m. Right, 4 a.m. Getting everything started before the training. We got there at 6 or whatever, 5:30 after breakfast, and getting everything ready, set up. And during the class, we had a break for lunch. And he was always looking at my work, my progress, every technique that I was. And he spent, I think, in that class more time with me than the other guys. And I'm telling you, I can't remember very well, but I think there's some classes that I missed lunch, because it's like, you're going to stay here and you're going to get it right. It's like, I wanted to cry. I wanted to leave to Argentina. But man, it built me. Yes, it built you know, my endurance, my determination, my mentality to see him, you know, because I always admire my dad, you know, even, you know, as a son, you know, he's your dad, he's always been your hero, but seeing how he was teaching, even back then, his English was really broken. A lot of guys struggling and talking in breaks, and we couldn't understand pretty much. But yeah, it lasted a month and a half, I think. And, you know, I did it 3 times. Then I did it in Brazil when he went to Brazil, because after he sold Dent Wizard, he kept all the franchises for Latin America. So I traveled with him a little bit in Brazil. You know, is huge in PDR, Martelinho de Oro, right, Manny?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, those were my origins, man. I'm very grateful for my roots.
And I know we've talked a couple times, and there was a speech. You actually sent it to me. I saw it. I think someone else sent it to me. It was a speech that your dad did at MTE, and it's pretty lengthy. You know, just explaining how the PDR and how he feels about, you know, what he's passed on to a lot of techs in the world, and, you know, how excited he was that you were in the industry, and how hard he was on you. And so it's a really good, I think it's on YouTube somewhere. It's a really,
is.
really good. I'll post it. I'll repost it tonight on this page, just so guys can see it. But it was pretty lengthy interview that he did at MTE. It was a handful of guys, like Rick Hummert was there, and so it was pretty cool. So I'll get that out there tonight after the show, so guys can
Was this
see it.
2019? I couldn't remember.
No, actually, that was this
Last
year. Saturday,
Yeah.
Oh,
Saturday,
okay.
this year. I will tell him that, and he will appreciate you doing that, because he wants to spread the story, his testimony, everything, his faith, his, you know, where he is right now. And yeah, those guys, that people that was there in that meeting, that little message and that morning was very special to him. You
Yeah.
know, Maria and John were there, Don Covenant was there, Rick Hammers was there, my brother Dan Taco was there. I mean, Ken Garrison was there. You know, he has a hard time listening. So after finish, he came to us and say, "Hey, are you gonna post this online? Because I didn't hear almost nothing." And it's like, "Don't worry, Ken, it will be there. You put whatever you gotta do." But he
Well,
was stood there the whole time.
it was a little story about you too, though. I think you spoke in some of it, correct? Did you
Yeah,
speak in
yeah,
that one? And you were just saying about your
yeah,
path and how you know, where you are now. So it's a pretty
yeah.
cool story.
It is. It is one of those stories that it's kind of like a redemption story, you know, because my dad and I, for a long time, I would say, I don't know, 8 to 10 years, we were separated, you know, for things of life. But our bond right now is stronger than ever. So yeah, I wasn't thinking of doing that, so I jumped in, and the last, I don't know, 2 3 minutes, and we shared some thoughts and a word, and he ended with a prayer. So it was really special, really special. Tom Price was there, you know, my dad and Tom Price, they're like
Yeah.
more than friends. Rick Hammer too. It's just so shout out to all these guys that just mark my life too with PDR. You know, because Tom, he knows me since I'm little. You know, even before I did the training. I think in 90, 91 when he started. So I was, I don't know, 10-year-old kid going around through the shop. And but yeah, it was special. It was special, and thank you for reminding me that, because every time I see that message, you know, that little glimpse that I show you too,
Yeah.
it's deep. You know, it makes you reflect and makes you think. Wow, if this man says this, it's good to hear. So I appreciate
Do
you.
you want me to pop this video on now, or do you want to wait till the end? It's just a little clip of what he was talking about.
I think we can put it at the end. You know,
Okay.
so people can stick with that.
Of course. So you get trained,
Excited.
you go through everything. What are you doing now? Like, what is your go through of business?
Okay, so you guys were talking about last year. I give a little bit of context. So last year, we moved from Florida 2 years ago. because I was always traveling and leaving all my accounts. They said, you got to come back in 3 weeks and a month. If not, just, call another guy. And going through that every year, I was traveling, making a little bit, more income. But we decided after a lot of prayer to come here to Texas. And first we thought Dallas, and then Austin, and then San Antonio was the least option. And here we are, San Antonio, Texas. But last year, talking about the heat and the lack of hail and the AC, all that. So one of my buddies, Caleb, called me in June last year and said, "Hey, are you ready, man? There's a job in Omaha, Nebraska. Porsche has 80 cars and Maserati and Alfa Romeos to fix there, and it's on. They were gonna give us a flat rate, but it was good, so we took it, and yeah, that's because I was working with Jake from Truecraft. Shout out to Jake, my boy Jake here. He's in Burnie, not too far from us. So I worked with Jake the first hailstorm. I stood with him, part of the team for a whole year, but then it was so dry, so he couldn't maintain a big team. So I went to Omaha. We worked there for a month and a half, and it was freaking amazing because we work inside the dealership, like in the showroom.
Mm.
In the showroom with all the managers, it was like, covered with some glass. It was like a little shop in the showroom, but everybody was looking at it. And I thought to myself when we got there, it's like, is this good or bad for the dealer that we are banging these cars? And it's like, oh, that's the car that I bought with him. It's
Yeah.
like, bah, bah, bah. So it was brutal. It was no gravy, but we were working with AC and getting coffee, all these treats, and it was amazing. So after that, I come back home, and I wasn't thinking in opening a shop, but I'm a man of faith. I pray. I just say the prayers. It's just Lord, guide me, lead me, give me wisdom, and I was looking for a shop for 2 weeks, and I said, "That's it. It's not meant to be." And the last day, I think it was, I don't know, the last hours of the day, I found a spot, and I'll go in, and literally the door of this big shop with two bays is open. The door is open.
Wow.
So I went in, I called, and just make the arrangements. The rent was pretty reasonable, $2,200 a month, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go for it because my wife, she always wants for me to stay home.
Yeah.
Ain't no place like home. It's good to travel. I like it. I take it, as a mission. You put that soldier mode. You travel. You're coming back home, and everybody's happy. But after a while, it's
Catches up to you.
yeah. So I'm in this shop. It's gonna be a year now. It's not even a
Wow.
year. So
Nice.
yeah, I'm thinking about it to renew, but I'm gonna tell them, hey, are you willing to put an AC in this thing? Because AC and heat in the winter. Because Alex, no, man, we struggle a little bit on the winter too. We got to put those big torches, and
Yeah.
but we make it happen, man. So
Now that you have the shop, do you feel like you should have done this sooner? Or do you think that it was just perfect timing?
uh, Manny, to be honest with you, um. I just believe it was the right time, but because in Florida, I work over there, from when I moved from Argentina to stay for good in Florida was 2014. That's when I opened Dent Legend, right? We were
Okay.
having a little meeting in my sister's house, and she's like, "You guys are together now." So that my dad started training. We opened Dent Legend. My sister came out with this name, so my dad trained for 3 years, and I was doing retail. I was doing some wholesale, focused on the retail area, doing big dents and everything. So I did mobile, and I had a shop, So that was the main idea when we moved to Texas. But those first 2 years were chasing hell,
Mm.
and it's just having a shop. Sometimes people now ask me, "Hey, uh, are you mobile?" I'm like, it's like I got tired of it, to be straight
Yeah.
honest with you, and being there, performing, doing good job, being there, it was a lot. But I had a great success in Florida with big dents. A lot of guys that were not doing big dents, and that's how I got a lot of accounts over there doing the big dents. I remember one time I went to this dealership. There was a dent guy there for 17 years. And I
Wow.
was knocking on this door. Yeah, typical story, right? The manager kind of like married to this dude. So, long story short, one of the managers called me and said, hey, we're switching, the personal. So, hey, we want to give you a shot. And, but that guy was still there. So they give me a Porsche with the, I don't know, 12, 14 inches crease on the quarter panel. And I did fix it. I took it to the shade back there, not even in the building. I took it under the trees. I fixed it. And they told me, you're in, So I don't know. Florida, it was great for me. And I had a shop there for almost 6 years. So it was
Okay.
good to chase hell for a little while with that freedom,
Yeah.
not have to, come to the shop every morning. But I think now it's a big blessing for us all here together.
Yeah.
Now,
I think
do you
like
feel like?
having a
Go
shop.
ahead.
Go ahead, Brian. No, I was
You
just
go.
going to comment that I feel like having a shop comes like, um, how can I say it? Like it comes with time. You grow into it, right? Because like I've met so many like great mobile technicians that I'll try to talk them into it, like thinking about getting into a shop, but it's just like you can tell they're just not ready. They're just enjoying the mobile side of it. They're still really just enjoying it. And then I talk to other guys who have been doing mobile for a long time, and we'll start a conversation about a shop, and then I'll start like you know getting to them, but because they've already done the mobile for so long.
Right.
So I think that it's one of those things that not until you've done it all with mobile that you can really value a shop. You know, um,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it's age or do it for so long. Bryce Kelly won't tell you that. We all
yeah,
know
Yeah,
it is insane
he's a
that
rare bird.
yeah, he's He-Man, man. He's
yeah,
like, and my dad really appreciates him because they're always getting to talk. But yeah, what can I say, Manny? I mean, I enjoy it for several years, that drive. But I think when you just right now, I'm just doing hell.
mm,
So, working for somebody else for a percentage and just jumping on your own and say, you know what, let's do it, man. I've been doing it for so long. So literally, this is my first storm that I run by myself here in the shop here in
wow,
San Antonio.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a huge blessing because we got hit in my birthday in March 2nd here,
wow.
and
Look
I
at
was like,
that.
hey,
Did you
thank
pray
you,
for
Lord.
that? Just kidding.
Man, so I called Alex, and he was ready to, he was tired to working on the body shop industry in Tesla. So he quit Tesla and he came to work, not for me, with me. I like it to
Mm,
Yeah.
call it like that. We made such a great team, and we fixed so many cars here. It's just he's a machine, and R&I the cars. I mean, it's just he's really good, and I'm very grateful for him, for his family. So shout out to you, my boy, my brother. Got your popcorn
Do
there. Hey, what's up, Don?
Do you feel like having a shop, you're a little more credible? Do you feel like customers and insurance companies, you have a little more to stand on than on the road?
Oh, for
What's your
sure.
thought about that?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, because here in Texas, local business, is a big deal for the Texan as well. And when they see all these tents coming, I mean, I don't want to judge or criticize, but having a shop, you feel you have that posture, not as a prideful man or whatever, but you have that speaking with authority because you take care of your stuff and you do the work and you take care of the customer, from the beginning to the end. And, people people like that, and I think it gives the credibility for sure, for sure. You know, it's funny story is that you know, once in a while you get those customers, they're super picky and they're high-end customers and they got a lot of money. Like this lady, she drop off an Audi, his son car, her son car, and they had a Porsche, and you know, you can tell they're wealthy. So she comes to my shop. In my shop I can fix, I would say 5 cars, you know, with
Wow.
yeah,
It's
no
pretty
no
nice.
yeah, because this has one bay and then goes around, and the office is in the middle.
Mm.
But the point is she's telling me, and you know, she's Chinese. She's like, you don't have a really good shop, really big shop, not you. And I'm like, okay, well, but your car is gonna stay in the garage, in you know. And we rented another little bay to overflow or something. So, you know, that kind of like irritate me a little bit. It's like, what do you mean? Like, this is a pretty cool shop. But no, overall, man, it's just, you know, when you work with cars, comfortable, uh, yeah, I think it says a lot, you know, because here is really appreciated that the person runs their own business. I
Mm.
think everywhere, right?
Right.
But I know the
Yeah.
Texan is really like into local business, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you feel, Manny? Do you feel like you have a little more credibility than when you were doing straight mobile?
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, when you get clients that are starting to ask, you know, too many questions like, oh, you know, how much again? Like, how long is it going to take? You know, once they get into like three questions about that, I know it's reference to the price. I'm like, oh, I don't have time for this. Right away, I'm just like, here's my card. Just call me when you're ready. You know, like
Yeah.
I'll just walk back in the shop because I got something to work on, you know. And a lot of the times they'll look at the shop, you know, it speaks on its own, you know. It's there's credibility there for sure, 100%, you know. Um, yeah, so absolutely.
I think everything comes down to the work, right? Because if you show up to a person's home with, you know, a good equipment and everything, and you perform, that person is gonna be like, wow, that's
Yeah.
professional too. Talking
Like
about
Bryce.
Bryce,
Just
and
like Bryce.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a lot of you guys, the guys, you know, Hector was there, my brother Alex too, he does mobile. And when you do the right thing and you perform, the customer is like, they're gonna
Yeah.
talk about you. That was
Mhm.
my main thing in Florida. I didn't have a shop until the first year, and the word of mouth spread like fire. And then I was like, okay, I got a shop. But I used to do mobile too, so it was like, oh man, I was so divided. But I think it comes down to the quality of work, you know, the
Yeah.
satisfaction.
And how you handle your customer. Just like you
Yeah.
said before, taking care of the customer,
Totally.
walking them through the process, being transparent about the repair, if there's some broken paint somewhere or what to expect. I think that's another part of the business that really you have to perfect.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I like to bring my clients when they see us working. I like to bring them and show them, you know, a hood and a hood stand, or just a
Mhm.
headliner down, and all that little process. Some of them they don't care; they just want to see the result.
yeah,
But some of them are like, "Wow, interesting! You guys do it one den at a time? You don't have a machine that does like pop 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 pop?" And I said, "No, these are the machines." So it's cool. You feel that sense of like, you know, this is what we do with
craftsmanship.
passion.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Jonathan,
100%.
I asked this respectfully, but do you ever like bring out your dad's story to like sell on to a client, or like not sell on,
Yes,
but like to like get them comfortable?
yes. If they look interested, I can throw that in there because it's you know, even if they don't know Dent Wizard, I had a little picture that Rick Hammer grabbed from the newspaper, and I show them how everything started, and then you know, depending of the attention of the person, I tell the story, and it's pretty cool, you know, because like
That's
people
awesome.
react like, wow, it really started like coming here to, yeah, he's the pioneer, that's El Padrino, you know,
So,
Godfather,
yeah,
that's how it
yeah,
started. And it's like, So it's cool. It's cool. I feel joy when I share that part of the story.
But
You know?
that could also put a little bit of pressure on you too, right? Make
Oh
sure.
yeah. Oh yeah. You know what my dad said all the time? I had so many phrases of my dad in my head. You know, like this account that I used to have in Florida, Toyota, I was going every day there, and he was always telling me, don't put all the eggs in one basket. You gotta like, you know, and it's just like, okay. And then they went in-house, they hired a guy, and I was like, oh man. All these little phrases, you know, and one of them, like, if I need to R&I a car and I'm gonna take 3 hours, you know, pay somebody. Everybody has to eat. Everybody, you know, you value your time. And lately he's been telling me, don't devalue yourself. Make yourself valuable.
Right.
And one of those tips, it was like always saying to me, if a dent doesn't, it's not gonna come out 99 to 100%, don't do it. And I was like, well, but the customer sometimes is asking like if it's like, you know, good enough, 80%. It's like, you know, these days are kind of different, but he always had that high standard, you know. And of course, I mean, half of the time I was relying on that, and half of the time I was like, well, this person, they gonna trade in the car or it's in the dealership, you know. And of course, you aim high. You want to just get the dent perfect or the planet flat. Like you wanted to see it as for yourself. But you know, the reality is so many times it wasn't the case because you know it was stretch or whatever. But I'm glad that he's not listening right now. Hopefully, he's not.
You hope he's not
Okay.
listening.
Yeah, it's like, hey, take that back, man.
Oh shit.
So, Jonathan, so take us back a little bit. So you went to training after high school, and so did you like stay with PDR? Did you just go back to your own thing and then?
No, I study career chef.
Really?
Yeah, really crazy, really crazy. Because back in the day, all my friends they went to you know college for something, and I stood in my neighborhood for 2 years, didn't know what to do, and I used to smoke a lot of weed, and I was always hungry. I was like, you know what? I like to cook, and I. Yeah. It's funny now I can laugh, but you know, at one point in my life, it was really dark, like
Yeah.
Ryan was saying, you know. But
So
yeah, I studied as a chef for 2 years. You know, they were gonna send me to Paris, and I stood there in Buenos Aires, and then I became a missionary for a church for
wow,
almost 10 years, almost
wow.
10 years, and
What
then I
what
went back
year?
to our.
What year to what year
Uh,
was that?
we're talking at 2010, 2011,
Wow.
2010, 2011. So yeah, and then 2014 we moved back to the US, and then it's when I went all in. But in 2011, I did some work with my dad. We grabbed a few storms, so he was handling you know technicians coming from Italy, Greece, and all this, and I helped him through the storms. But then I couldn't see myself growing up. I mean, just doing my life, seeing a big future in Argentina where I grew up, and I decided to come back. And that's when we really joined forces, and he started training, and I was doing the retail. So
And
that was kind of
what
like,
brought you back to PDR? Is it something that you just felt like it's part of like your family to be in the PDR, or was it just like, oh, let me try this again, see if I like it?
you know what? It was more in a necessity, to be honest with you. And then I didn't know that that flame, it was still there. You know,
Hmm.
that passion that when I start grabbing the tools, I went back. And 2011 my dad gave me an opportunity to go to Dent Wizard, and I made a course for 2 weeks, and I learned everything about interior, you know, fixing interior. I did the course for 2 weeks, rim repair, upholstery, stitching, everything. And I don't know why, but I took that course, and I was like, maybe this is good, and maybe I can implement it with the tools. But I was thinking, I don't know. I was going through some stuff, and so I took the opportunity. And when I came back, I did that for 3 or 4 months. And in customs in Argentina, they retain all my stuff that I brought from St. Louis, man. It was such a struggle. And it's like, so that's how I grabbed the tools. So it's like half of my stuff still there. I couldn't do any of that work that I learned. So I started grabbing the tools, did a lot of dents for free in my neighborhood because I was kind of like going through everything again. And, you know, I was not turning down big dents. You know, I wasn't afraid anymore. I just went all in. And, you know,
Was
it worked.
everything coming in naturally from like what you had been taught from your dad, or were you just calling your dad now more anxious, like, hey, you know, I'm dealing with this, how should I tackle it? Or were just things were just coming in naturally to you?
Uh, I was figuring out the way to do it, you know, and then some of the repairs didn't came out great. But yeah, I didn't call my dad. That was a period of time that we were separated for,
Mm,
you know, after that. But yeah, you know, there's something when there's a lot of guys that are self-taught, right? And there's
yeah.
something that you learn and that grind, that effort, that, you know, extra sweat that you put to really figure it out. Now these days we got so many, you know, you can FaceTime and do like how can I approach this then and everything. But back in the day, I think after a month, you know, I was doing pretty good repairs again, and I was working in my mom's house in a little tiny garage where I can't even open full doors. I was like, man, but I swallowed my ego, my pride. It's just like this is what I gotta do, and I started seeing, you know, some light
That
in the
is
end of the tunnel.
that is one of the I feel like what you just said right there, sometimes that is the biggest thing we could ever do in life, overcome our ego. How did
Oh,
you get through it?
Big time. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Ryan.
I think it's the grind too. Like I said about the Dent Wizard guys being built differently is what my wife says, and it's the same concept of what you're saying. It's that pure going out every day, getting beat down, coming back, getting beat down, coming back, beat down, coming back, beat down, and then trying to get over your ego. Like I know I can fix this, and you struggle. Do you know what I mean? I think it's that point
Yeah.
of just getting your butt kicked every single day and getting back on. It's like riding a bike. You fall off the bike, you get on. You fall off the bike, you get on. And then towards the end, you
Hmm.
start to figure it out. Okay, I made this mistake. This is how I fix it. And I think it was the same concept you were saying with what tools you had and where you were. You knew you at that point, you knew you had to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it was a
These
personal
conversations
thing.
are so good, man, because it opens your brain and you start thinking and things that that you did in the past. And you said something about riding a bike. You know, I grew up skateboarding and surfing. So you fall
Yeah.
from a trick, and it's like, no, I'm going again, even if it's like, I don't know, a stair. And surfing, the same thing. You know, you fall from a wave, I'm going in, I'm going to ride this one. So that kind of determination,
Yeah.
for some reason, was in me. But you know, my dad back in the day, he went through a lot of adversity to start PDR. You know, you hear the whole story. What Vince is connected right now. He's How often do you use your master?
Yeah,
Oh
what does he mean
man.
by that? I wasn't too sure what Vince
A
means.
lot of guys don't know what the
Well,
master is, so you know we got to explain it there. We're the rare breed over here.
yeah, yeah. Well, to be honest with you, I don't use it anymore right now. I use sometimes my first ever tool that my dad gave me, my first ever tool. When I don't know, Ryan, if you learn this way with a little sheet,
Uh-huh.
the little sheet, right? And a lot of
Uh-huh.
little tiny dings, and it
Yep.
shows practice the dragging, right? Sometimes we just put a little stand or something, and then we were just dragging, and then the master style the same way to, you know, tap down slowly with the tip of your master your high
Wow.
spots.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
that
there's like
was like for 2 weeks straight. Yeah,
So that
a
is
flat
the
bar.
tool.
There's
That's
a
what you
flat
call
yeah.
that,
bar.
the master.
Well,
So
this
Wow.
is
that a
Mhm.
Z tool, right?
Well, the name of this one is the Byron. So it's kind of like the C hook, but shorter, right?
Yes.
Just one part. and it's a mini version of the Master, Manny. It doesn't have the concave on it. The Master is a little more concave. And yeah, this my dad gave it to me many years ago. I got it tatted here in my arm too. So
Wow. That's
So if you look at the edge of that Manny, it's kind of shaped. It's kind of shaved all the way around the tip. And with
Yeah, I
your
kinda saw
Master, it
that.
was the same thing. It was a flat bar. And you literally, instead of using a hammer or knockdown, you would take this Master and push the high spot down.
Wow.
yeah, and for so many years, it used to be my door tool too. You know, upside
Yes.
down, right? Upside down, and the whole concept of uh, you know, doing the upside down, it was for your shoulder be stuck to your body. Because not like this, you don't have the same precision. When you're like this, you know, the Master is short. So of course, I don't even know how we used to take dents on the bottom of the door, to be honest with you. I mean, it's like, but we did it, man. We did it, and we strive. Not only survive, we strive with those tools. So I'm sorry, Vinny, if I disappoint you, my brother, that I don't use my Master. Probably my dad already hang up, and he's like, nah, forget it. Love you, Dad.
And it's funny because we were at MTE this year, and I saw a set of tools that were sitting at the A1 booth, and they had the little tag on it that was like an old Dent Wizard tool, and they were longer, and they had a straight flag on it, and it was completely square at the end. It looked like they were like chrome plated or nickel
Yeah.
plated that they had done there. And I was like, oh my gosh, I used to have some of those.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool to see some of the older stuff, you know, still
I got
come
a few
around.
over here.
Oh, I got
Wow.
one right over there.
You got
Yeah.
one too? Well, let me
Yeah.
show you, because even my friend, one of my very good friends, Brandon Shaya from Oklahoma, I gave one of this. So this is a bendable one, right? And
Yep.
my boy, he understands perfectly, you know, his brain, because his tools are the same too. So these are from Argentina, but this tip right here, I don't know how many fenders I say with this tool, how many quarter panels I say to this tool. So I go in the back of my truck, I just, you know, give the bend what I want. And I have the 3 sizes. So I still use these tools. Some of the guys, they ask me, you know, like Vinny was saying, hey, you really use these tools? I do.
Now,
So
on those tips, when you unscrew those tips, the thread stays in the tool and not on the tip, correct?
yes.
Mm.
The only reason I'm
yeah.
saying that is because I have some too. So I just wanted to make sure they were the same.
Yeah, this is special nylon. I don't know, but I didn't find that kind of tips in the market. Maybe there's some out there. I mean, of course, I use a lot of the new stuff. But remember, we used to do this, right? Sometimes
Yes,
for leverage. For
Yeah.
leverage.
Wow.
You see that, Manny? With the
Yeah.
Master, like the Craftsman, you know, hammer. That's the one that we used to use. So I
Yeah.
think Rick, you know, he was very smart and wise and enough to really come with the concept, the more power, you know. So you're just having more leverage and. But yeah, this handles right here, they were rough. But I think my
They were
hands,
brutal.
Is this the
yeah.
same tools that you were using when you were back home in Argentina?
They are. I have a full set. I think I lost 4 or 5 tools and a few that I gave away, but it was a 32 set. And yeah, these are the tools that I kept from my original training. Crazy,
Wow.
right?
Yeah. So you were back home. You were grinding. You were pushing yourself to, like, you know, be a full on PDR tech. So what happened after that when you were back home?
Oh, you mean in Argentina or here?
Yeah, in Argentina. Because after that, that's you came back, right?
Yeah, so in 2011, 2014, we just came back and stood here for good.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I travel just to visit my family. You know, I got a lot of friends and family there, but
And by then
yeah,
you were full on. This is what you were going to do.
yeah, totally. And I never thought I was going to move from Florida. You know, my dad always stood there in Florida. He still had the same phone number from 91, I believe, 92. I don't know how, that 305. So, but yeah, we are here, and even my dad, he was kind of like considering now move to Texas. So that's a big miracle right there. So I don't know. We praying about it. I can't see whoever is connected, but like you guys were saying, big shout out to everybody. Don comment, I was mentioning something. I think I saw something about the shop while we were talking. Yeah, right there. I think a shop.
Dan said, I think a shop shows the customer we are the professionals. Yeah, I think exactly what I was saying earlier, that, when a customer tries to do a lot of kickback on the price, it's just like they see the shop. It's, I've been meaning to put a sign here in the office, but like this is my life, and
Yeah.
this is how I feed my family. This is how I take care of my family. Now I'll tell that to clients sometimes too. It's just like, this is it for me. Like, I'm not here to like, do anything wrong to your car. Like, I'm here to just give you my best.
Yeah.
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 And
When people come and if it's word of mouth, a lot of the times it's word of mouth to me, of course, Google, the reviews and everything. But people, I think they can sense that when they come to your shop, right? What's your spirit? What's your knowledge? What's your experience? And they get to see. I mean, man, it's very cool, right? We never get enough from that feeling to see the customer really satisfied, and that's of course we make good money, by the grace of God. But that joy right there, it was like, wow, that was a good
You know what?
purpose.
I don't know if you guys do this, but something I love to do is like, I'll park the car outside for the client when it's ready, and when they show up, instead of just like right away walking up to them, I'll stay put and just watch them just look at the dent and see their reaction.
Yeah.
Do you guys do that, or like?
Yeah, yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. Alex, by the way, was, watching some guys that like looking at the car, I really see their reaction is phenomenal, man. It's phenomenal. That's really cool. That's really cool. That's one of the coolest things that we do.
I was thinking about this earlier, and I wanted to ask you, um, and this works, I think, for hail cars and regular dents too. But when you are cleaning up dents, let's say let's go hail. Um, are you the type of technician that pushes dents to go flat, or do you just over push to get like a little high spot, and then you could just go and knock those high spots down, um, or do you try not to over push? Just does it make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think after I start chasing, the first years I was pushing so hard. Of course, I knock, but you just know, even if you don't see the tip of your tool in a big dent and a deep dent, you just start pushing and slowly with a good tip and you just or whatever leather, whatever you're using, you just know how the dents is moving, right? Sometimes, I trained 3 person in my whole life, and they ask me, "Are you start from the middle? You start from the?" It's hard to explain, but you
Yeah.
just do it so naturally. I don't think I'm an over pusher. Sometimes I think I'm an over puller in a way. And I don't know. I became um I don't like to talk a lot about my own work in oh I but I realized that after 2013 I started getting into blending a lot, and I knew there was something good in that because back in the day, a lot of people not used to blend, and with the
Mm.
old Dentcraft hammer, I used to go to stores and they used to tell me, "Oh man, you're doing it pretty good," and I got into it more and more and more. So that's something that I really and I mean I enjoy everything. I don't enjoy R&I. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's not a mystery because I take too long, but I enjoy a lot the blending, the pulling. Uh, yeah, I mean, lately I got from Steve from Ultra. He was visiting here in Texas, and he swing by the shop. We spent like 2 hours talking, and I bought the machine, for the stretch dents. But
Mm.
I started using like two years ago. when I was working with Jake. So this one is a little different. It's coming from Brazil. It's way more affordable. So I didn't try it yet, but there's a Camry that's coming next week, and I know I'm gonna have to use that one because that one is hammered. Um, yeah, but I don't think I'm over pusher because you already know when it's flat enough, you can open the dent a little more. You know, you can open the dent a little more with a hammer. Just your knockdown and just go slow again. You
Yeah.
know, instead of like just pushing hard and
Yeah,
just
because sometimes if you don't over push, like a little bit of blending and everything just settles itself.
Yeah.
But I do feel like there's a lot of guys who get trained to just over push because then they just know that you can knock down. But
yeah,
I think some guys stay in that mentality and some guys just change. But I agree with you. I think that the blending it's huge in what we do as well.
yeah.
It's
Vibration
funny
for
you
sure.
it's funny you said about blending because I saw your hammer and I was curious to see if you could show it again because it looked like a nice hammer. Is that your blending hammer?
This is my go-to
VIP.
VIP. Shout out to Peter. You were talking about him, Ryan, too. Yeah, this one, and I have another one from Dent Freaks that I had it like I don't know how long, but this one with the little ball and I like it because it's square, and you know my fingers are kind of square in a way, so it goes so perfect. I got one of the instant tips here, the wooden one, and this one from Stucky with leather. So this one has a little angle,
Yeah.
and very ignorant of me, I talked to Peter and I told him, hey, it has a little defect, man. The thing. It's like, I see it crooked. I don't know what's going on. But he's like, come on, dude, you didn't see that? Oh yeah, I get it now. I see it. It's perfect. Just like, it's like, yeah, that perfect angle.
Shit.
So now
Yeah.
I'm loving this hammer.
What kind of glue
So-
are you using in Texas?
I was gonna ask
Or
that.
are you using?
Glue right now, the new from Ken, the red one. I'm trying that one a
Oh.
lot because sits so quick. Boom, you put
Really?
it 3 seconds. You can pull and it will pull. I was using the green one before, the Brazilian one, and then the blue one, which I really like because that one you just peel it off as well. The blue snatcher, I think it is, and I was using the one from Daniel Grom, and just so many, but I stick to that one right now because it's just fast, and it pulls.
Oh, I did not know
Now-
that. I do have one stick. I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, you should try it, Manny. If it's very hot over there, it's good.
Can you do me a favor? Is there any way that you could put the story? Because there's a lot of guys that don't know your dad's story. Is there any way that you could put that either on YouTube or on your Facebook page, or because there's a lot of guys that don't know the history.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know
Yeah,
if there's a
for
way
sure.
that you could get it out there for these guys that don't know, the full steps of how it was founded
Yeah.
and how it came out.
Yeah.
Or, I think
Definitely.
that
I got a better idea. Why don't we bring your dad into the show and he could tell us the story?
Oh man, we're gonna pray a lot for that.
it's going to be expensive.
I'll have Ryan. We'll have Ryan make that call.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, who knows? He's been so open, so coming back with so much love to the industry. So he might be say, of course, why not, right? So I
Because
can
I
ask
think
him.
I think at the end of the day, that's really all we have to pass on. It's our story, right? Our knowledge.
Yeah, for sure. And I really like your show, guys, because you guys show tools, and we technicians, we want to see tools, we want to know, and we want to see the tips and how and this and that. This one is good enough or no, and I really like the show for that.
Do
And
you have any
this
other
one,
tools that you want to show?
I do have two more, I believe. Well, this one you guys already maybe seen it, the El Padrino, the one the Stucky redesign. So this one was a tool that from the old Dent Wizard crew, right? So it was a little round one, right? I don't know if you remember, Ryan, but with three wood little tips, right? Yeah, one bigger, smaller, and the tiny one. So this one is I use it, man. I use it a lot, and Stucky been amazing with us. We love him to death. The cool thing is has a magnet, has, you know, you can lock it on your fingers like this with this little thing. And I use it a lot in rails to open the dent up like that. Pop, 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 open the dent up, and then to tap down some micro lows or whatever. Even Mike Toledo did a little video for us. So really cool knockdown. That, of course, I use a lot of VIPs. I use the one from my boy, the big one, the heavy one. And he sent me that one too.
Oh yeah.
I like that one a lot. When you have a heavy dent or whatever, you don't want to just bang a rebound. You just use that, more solid, less kick.
You know what knockdown I did use this week? It's Kent's new knockdown, the one that splits into all these different parts.
Okay,
It actually worked pretty good.
nice.
So you know, if you
I got a lot of tools from Ken, man. Kenny,
if you ever
is,
come across it, it's actually really good. I like it.
yeah,
Now,
yeah,
you guys also
100%.
came out with a step stool, correct? At MTE, you launched
Yes,
it. Pro PDR made it. Give us a little rundown on
yes.
that.
Well, I've been using that gorilla ladder forever, you know, because sometimes I go to the third step and shout out, especially a shout out to Don. He made an awesome video about it. It's in his website or it's in the PDR, Pro PDR website. So you can click and YouTube show you a little bit about this one. So this ladder, you know, you just carry the ladder from here to there, from here to there. It's like, man, it has to be a way to put wheels on this thing, you know? And I seen something similar on the body shop industry, but it was just a stand. You know, when you step on it, it locks the caster. So it took us a while. So we came a long way, you know. It looks, I use it. I love it, you know, for everything, for estimates. It's super handy. Everything is in front of you. So I got tired. This is the point, Ryan, because I got tired to twisting and turning all the time, grabbing everything on my side. So when you do that 200 times a day, you know, with a nasty rail, whatever you're working on, you want to stretch when you get home because you're gonna be beat the next day. So I was like, man, it has to be something that's in front of me, not on the roof, not on the side, because I use Pro PDR. I got the A-frame, I got the other one that goes all the way high. So we came to the idea and everything. So it's pretty cool. I love it, not because we designed it with Jake and Rich from Pro PDR. I know it's a little bit expensive, but there's a lot of thoughts and engineering in that thing. And yeah, I've been using that ladder forever. So even in the Thursday, it has a little part right there that sometimes you sit on it, you fixing the roof, you sit on the ladder, you know, and you just like, man, this ladder is my go-to. But I know a lot of guys that use the benches, and I use one too from Gorilla. It's really cool, very affordable, and very wide, goes really high. I don't know if you guys saw it. They sell it in Home
Yeah,
Depot.
yeah, and
So this one
there's
is cool,
still
man.
the way that thing latches down. It reminds me, if you're in Home Depot or whatever, they have those massive ladders that they go up and get stuff with, and the way that is very similar how it locks down to the ground, puts the feet
Yeah,
down, and it's on wheels. So when I saw it, I was
yeah,
like, okay, that's a really good idea, you know, in
yeah,
our industry.
yeah. And
What do you talking about ladder? What do you guys use to work on roofs for like the
the
Mercedes?
monster trucks, you saying?
Yeah, the Mercedes. What's it called?
Sprinter
The
vans,
van, the
Oh,
Sprinter
the
van.
Sprinter. Oh man,
we don't fix them.
we
The
call
older you
Spider
get,
Man. I don't
Manny,
know, bro. It's like,
You
the
know
older
what?
you get, you pick and choose. You're like, you know,
So
what? It's
yeah,
not worth $1,000 if I fall off this ladder. It's not worth it. So we don't fix them.
it's funny because
yeah,
I had two came in for the front roof. If they go into the garage, it's too low. The front roof gets hit, right? So
yeah.
it's funny enough. Two of them came in for an estimate the same week. So I took one of them in, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna figure it out on this one, and then I'll bring in the second one. I never called the second one. And they emailed me to see if I could do the price better. I'm like, no,
Well,
no.
let me tell you really quick. My ladder, I don't know if you because I use it so much, but I'm so used to this ladder. Even in the little part that it comes from factory, I step on that thing, man. And I got an extra, so I got 4 steps. And I did fix some Amazon trucks like that. I did fix some Amazon
Wow,
trucks
really?
like that, even with that ladder. You know, you can go high enough. Of course, you gotta have balance because it's, you know, but yeah, you gotta pick and choose. Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
pick your battles right there.
Oh man. What other
So
tools you were going to show us, Jonathan? Sorry, Ryan. You
you're fine.
started to
Well,
say
talking about that concept, you know, about the power of the Excalibur, you know, you guys know we love Rick to death and his family
absolutely.
to us. And even when he saw this thing, he's like, that's really cool, man. So, you know, I have a lot of Dentcraft well tails, and it's like it has to be a way because when you go on the back of the SUVs, you know, you got a long SUV and you got those, you know, those, which I use the bazooka from Can2, which has the extension, but sometimes I don't know, you want to use another whale tail, and that's those long ones from Dentcraft. But you know, you just put this one right here, this adapter, and instead of like cranking with, you know, how we do sometimes, you got a little bit of gap on those braces, you just move a little bit your wrist. And it's the same concept. Like, let's say you're in a hood of, I don't know, a Mustang, right? You're in the front of the hood, and sometimes you're like all the way like that. And if you got to twist your arm, you know, because there's a little bit of gap or something after the brace, you're doing this. And I was feeling it both of my shoulder. By the way, Jeff, my brother, my dear friend, he just got surgery again. Tom Price got surgery for his shoulders. It's like, man, so with this thing, you just lock it in there and you just move your wrist a little bit. So, you know, we've been testing it and working with it. And personally, I really like it because it's so simple.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't use it every day because most of the time I got the leverage or the tightness that I need on a regular. But when I need that torque and I got an aluminum hood, and sometimes I just go like this,
Yeah.
you know,
How does that screw
and
onto
it's
the handle?
you just take, and this one it takes. Let's say this one is from A1, right? So
Hmm.
um, you got this one, and it goes with anyone from the one that I in the Anson too that I have too. I have all the set. You just go like that.
Oh.
Put your well tail. Even
Interesting.
Matt that was showing the other day with a little one of his tools because it will fit in any tool that has a hole,
Hmm.
right? So that's why John was asking me for and said, "Well, what's the name of the tool?" And we were driving with my wife. It's got more power, less power, little more power. Hey, little more power, and it just came little more power. So we put my dad's initials right here,
That's awesome.
and
That's
it
cool.
was funny. Yeah, when I sent it to Matt, he showed me a pack of bills right here because it kind of like you can carry cash there too.
Yeah.
It was funny, but it's good. You know, they go for $49 just the adapter with the handle is just $70. Um, but yeah, my intention was not to really promote the tool or nothing, just show you guys what I've been using lately. You know,
No, thanks for showing us.
for sure.
Is there any other tools that you got there that you want to show us?
Uh, no, that's it. I remember I'm in my house, man. So it's like, no, that's pretty much it. I mean, yeah, what I've been using a lot lately is this rod. Oh, I forgot about this. It's just a rod. This one, A1 made it too.
Oh
Not
yeah.
very different from all the rods, but it's really good because I always wanted something short, you know. So the one that Ken makes is almost like 5 foot, and now he came with another with 4 foot, but this is 4 foot. So this, even for those big ass trucks or SUVs, you going through the sides, it's just the perfect length to get to the middle of the roof. And
Mm,
the good thing that I like with this one, of course, I really like the grip. It has a little ball on the side, it has the signature here for my dad, but I like it because it's aluminum.
mm.
So it's like halfway there. You don't have to press too much. You don't have to, it's not heavy for me. I love it. I've been working with this thing 2 years now, and you know, has these three tips. This one right here, I use this to push, a little softer. So I got this one, and of course this bullet one right here
Yeah,
to clean and
nice.
finish. So
That
it's just
bullet
a
one's
simple
really
tool.
popular.
Yeah.
That bullet tip is really popular. I see a lot of hell guys have that.
Yeah, for sure. And we talked to John to put a little hole there to make it tighter. You see how many times it tries to get out, right?
Mhm.
So I believe Dentcraft, they had that for a long time. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys, with the tools. But yeah.
What's on your hit list? What are a tool that you're like, you know what, I want to get that.
Uh, right now, I would say, I'm gonna get that hammer from Matt for sure. I've been waiting too long.
Oh
And
yeah,
we
yeah.
we saw each other in Anson this time because he was there. He was working in Texas. It's like, and he told me about it, but he told me, "Hey, just wait," And I'm gonna get that one because it takes you a little bit to get used to any tool, and sometimes like, okay, I get it later. Now, right now, I gotta fix this car. So that one for sure, and I got the lateral tension kit from Ken when we traveled to Missouri. He was there. I'm gonna get into that more. And PDR Finesse made a big pick for me, just sharp, just they call it like she Bonnie put it the pencil pick. It has no curve at all. It's just a big long pick because sometimes in the back of the SUVs as well, sometimes has that little gap in the braces. So I got that one. I got to use it, and I'm ready to use this Power PDR box. But I mean, I guess I should not call it like that because it's not the brand. So that's pretty
Same
much it,
concept.
guys. Yeah, I mean, of course, I always look at something, and I want to get more Excalibur, to be honest with you, because I have a lot of them, and we always talking with Rick. We always talk once a week, and he always has something new. He's just like, I gotta
He
show you
does.
the new stuff that I got. Now I'm like,
He does.
okay, there
He
you
does.
go, 2,500
Every
more.
time. Every time I talk to him, he's like, "Man, you should see what I'm working on. I got, I'm like, slow down, slow down." But let me tell you, his his powers and his mini hood and deck set has changed the way that I repair hoods and deck lids, and
Big time.
it's adding years to my life. I'm gonna say that
Yeah,
to the
yeah. You
body.
you said
So
it. You
Rick,
saying it right. You saying it right. You saying it right. The other day I
yeah,
was in the back of the hood and I was pushing through the hole with a hand tool like that. I said, wait, let me grab my hood and deck set. And I just got in there and it's just like, oh snap. It's just, like Tom Price says, I hate to use this word, but it's a game changer. And I mean, they're
it
they're
is.
they're just talk by themselves, man. These tools,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And it's
So
funny when
So
that happens because it's almost like I should have grabbed this tool a long time ago.
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah. Totally, totally.
100%. So I've got a video that we're gonna run here before the very
Oh
end of the
yeah.
show. Let you guys watch this, and we'll come right back on.
Sounds
In,
good.
in a way, I bless indirectly so many people. Now you see how many people come to the show. It's in one way or another, not all of them, but most of the people that have some relation to what I did in the past. And I feel good. I don't feel pride because pride is a sin. I don't want to be prideful. But I feel that I did something for many people, and I hope that I can do even more for those people is to try to keep them in line to come to Jesus, to realize that the only thing that matters in life is not how much you have, but who you have inside.
Amen.
From the man himself.
Gotta
Amen.
say amen to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah, thank you
it's
for
pretty
sharing
crazy.
that, Ryan.
100%. Like I said, we've got to either find a way to get this story, because there's a lot of people in the industry that they don't know it, and I think the amount of respect that guys have for your family, it really needs to get out there. And I think guys would really enjoy it. And I think it would be priceless to some of these guys.
Mhm.
So we'll have to figure out a way to make it work.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I last year we did the interview with Vinny, Daniel Groom, and John and PDR Tool Time. It was a 2 segment, and that's when I think it broke the ice that my dad was, coming back again. And Karstaki has a lot to do with this, and Tom Price and Rick
Yeah.
Hammer and Don Kavanagh and all these great, great, great people that we love to death. But let me say something. Maybe next MTE. I was talking. I don't want to talk too much, guys, but I don't know if we should finish in 5 minutes, right?
No,
Yeah,
whenever. We got whatever.
Okay, cool. No, it just popped in my head because I was talking to Danny Espinal.
Oh yeah.
You guys know Danny, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Danny from Connecticut, a monster too with dents and everything. So we were talking, and probably you'll be interested too, Manny, because there's no podcast in Spanish. So we were
Mhm.
talking with Danny like a few months ago, and it's like, hey, maybe we should get out there, and just do something for the community. And
Yeah.
there's so I think we're gonna launch something next month, and we were just talking about it. So he's really more into like more you guys. I've been doing hail for this, I don't know, past 3 years. I'm gonna talk a lot about maybe hail and tools or whatever. He's gonna talk about more like smashes, big dance. He just went to the PDR college again with Bryce, and he was telling me everything about it. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
actually,
exciting.
last MTE they did the Latin. I forgot what it was called, but they did
Yeah,
the Latin room where it was a class. It was a great turnout. I think it was an eye opener for a lot of the techs who feel intimidated because their first language is Spanish, and
yeah,
they love the industry just as much, but they learn more in Spanish, So I think that opening up the doors to the Latin community more and more with MT, it's awesome because we,
Yeah.
we have so much support from guys from Argentina,
hmm
guys from Brazil. There's that's what I love about the PDR community, but it's the whole world on its own. Wherever
yes,
there's cars, right? Wherever there's
yes.
cars, there's a dent. There's got to be a technician.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys from Argentina and Brazil. They're really, really high in tech. And I think Mario was there. You guys had it on the show.
Hmm.
Mario was there, right? And
Mm-hmm.
Pablo Rocha was there, and a lot of guys. Man, I just forget his name. But I think my dad wants to do the same, Ryan, like you were saying, but in Spanish right now. So going
Yeah.
through
100%.
to that room.
That would be awesome.
So God
Yeah.
willing, yes, yes, for sure.
Well,
You
how
want to
can
hear a
people
funny
find you?
story?
Yeah. Let's go.
Okay, I want to hear from you guys if you guys any of these crazy, weird, funny stories. I put it here in the little note. I mean, it's just funny, man. It's just crazy. One time I was doing mobile, and this lady calls me, and it's like very interesting. It's like she's like, "Do you guys remove dents without paint?" And I'm like, "Yes." So it's like, so it's painless, right? I will feel no pain in my teeth when you're taking these teeth out of my mouth, right? And I was like, wow. Dude, I just heard that. Wow.
Yeah.
It's like that's creative. They go, wow. She I mean, bless her heart. She must be in pain, man. I was like, wow.
How did you handle that? What did you say?
I wish I was, I wish I could help you. But no, I think she should start laughing too. I mean, I don't know if it was a prank maybe, and then I was like, but
Well,
that was funny,
we
man.
do get mixed up with dentists out there too.
We
There's a lot
do.
of marketing that goes with like dent and then
Yes.
something afterwards, and then just gets crossed over with dent repair too. You know?
Yeah, it just generated a question in my brain. Is really somebody take deets without pain? You know, I need to find that person. Like,
You just got to think about it. She was hurting that bad that she probably was not aware of how she was asking that question.
I know, man.
Poor lady,
Bless
she
her
just
heart.
wanted someone to, take that pain away.
That's great.
Yeah. Well, I have this tool right here with this hook, so I don't know. Like,
yeah,
right?
or you know what? Some of us are really good with the drill. So,
oh boy. Oh man. Well, if you're gonna buy a bit, just buy the good one. Just buy the Milwaukee, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, we got the
Jonathan,
Milwaukee
what is something that you have
Right.
learned?
We got the Milwaukee here going on.
What is something, Jonathan? What is something that you have learned in your PDR journey that maybe you have taken from your dad, or that you have learned on your own, like words of advice, like if you could give an advice to either a new tech or an experienced tech?
I would say balance overall, because I'm a hardcore guy. I can go all in non-stopping for hours or hours and hours. And at the end of the day, it's just having balance. And, it's funny because it just pops in my head a question they asked Carl Stuckey in an interview. Our friend Lee was asking him and say, what would you say a good tip for a technician? And, we were all hearing it and say, get life insurance. I was like, whoa. At that point, I didn't have life insurance, So I would say balance. Take care of your body, man. Take care of your body, because my dad, right now, he feels a lot of pain, in his hips and, so just balance, your mind, your spirit, your body is a temple, right? So I think that balance, and I'm saying it to myself. So lately, I've been a little bit more successful to that. And not being afraid, and we always say that, not being afraid, and, for the big dents and stuff like that. How many times I go to a storm and, the cars are hammered, right? There's no gravy. But it's in here because a lot of technicians say, man, these cars are so beat up, man. And it's cold and it's hot in here. It's like, dude, like, please stop. We already know that.
Yeah.
Let's start pushing the cars. Yeah, just cut it out. We all know that. That's just going to bring more weight to us. So it's like that mindset, that mindset. I think it comes like you guys are beasts too in what you do. And I've seen your work and, to go for it and not to say no, even if it's not going to look 100%. I would say just, not being afraid, not being intimidated, balance, and get life insurance. For sure.
Get life insurance. And I'm going to touch base just in one
good,
thing
though.
you were just saying. And I have a guy, Josh, he's he's a couple of years in tech. And I think some of the problem he had was he would look at the damage and he would already be psyched out of it. He would already be like, man, I just saw it, that first initial mindset of that repair, right? And that's how I used to be back in the day. I remember going to dents and be like, man, this thing, there's no way I can fix this. There's no way. But if you go into those repairs, same concept as you were saying with the hail cars, and you're like, it's just a dent. Let's just figure it out one way or the other. And you're in it. You see the progression. Right. You're better off. And that's one thing that I'm really trying to, like my guy Josh, is I'm trying to mentally train him to approach those differently, not mentally get psyched out before you even touch it. Yeah. Figure the approach out, get into it, and then you can figure it out. It's that point of, I always say to Josh, who's going to bail me out? Right? We're in there. I can bail Josh out, but who's bailing me out? I don't get any bailout. Right. Manny doesn't get any bailout. So you get to that point in your career where you just need to mentally have that mindset of, we're going to figure it out. So I just wanted to touch base on that. And add to it of
That's
just
big.
it's that initial mindset of the repair. Because if you already think you're gonna not get it, you're not gonna get it.
Yeah.
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 So-
Alex right there, he worked with me. He never fixed a whole hail car by himself. Right. And he came and this big shots in aluminum hoods, he figured it out, man. He called me a few times. I gave him a few tips and here and there, but he figured it out. And it can be intimidating. That's that reality. We already know that. But until you see how you can do something, yeah, out of your comfort zone, yeah, that's huge. And it really builds up your character, your self-esteem. You see how, how savage you are inside, but you can't just call it out.
It's funny because sometimes we'll have with my other tech we'll have I'll have a car, he'll have a car, and then maybe we'll have a big project just sitting out there, right? That we'll tackle tomorrow or the weekend or something. And while he's on his way to go repair the car that he's working on, he's thinking about that big jobs. Well, what are we gonna do with that? I'm like, we're gonna deal with that when that comes.
That
For
monster
now-
is already like, yeah.
For now, we just focus on this. Just
Right.
just take care of this. And then we have one car that he's working on, and he's been working on it all day. And his mindset from the beginning was just like this door is stretched, like this metal is stretched. And it's just like I could see that he's been working on it for hours, and I go see how he's doing. It's just like, well, this metal is stretched. It's stretched here. I'm like, all right, well, we know that. Why don't you just move on to other parts of the dent, and we'll deal with that towards the end, But because of that, like if you focus on, what is already the problem, and you cannot get over that, you'll never will,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool because that is contagious too. The positive, the serenity, or the confidence that you have that you're telling him, hey, right now we're here. We're going to get to that. You will see, because I that's really cool. I like that. That's
or just like, because I don't know, I to me, it's just like, what's today? It's today. Tomorrow will come. And yesterday it's gone. Forget about yesterday. Forget about what's going to happen tomorrow. Let's focus about what's happening right now.
Totally.
Live in the moment, right?
yes.
I feel the same way.
That
with
moment
the
will not
dents.
come back. That's sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. Where can people find you on social media? I know you do a lot. I watch your stuff periodically. So where can people find you?
Well, pretty much Facebook. I have a El Padrino Dent Legend, and Jonathan Balde. I don't know, Ryan, maybe you can help me to change my last name. I don't know
We
how
can
to do
fix
that
that.
anymore.
I put it up and I was like, should I
You
use
gotta
his whole
help me,
name?
brother.
This is what he has on Facebook. So I'm gonna use this, and they send me a message.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't figure this out. So we'll get that straight.
Back.
That's easy.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. So pretty much Jonathan Balde, and yeah, I have a website, El Padrino Dent Legend too, and yeah, you can find me on Google. I think. Lately, I'm not been doing so much advertising, so I just want to show this shirt right here that we signed with a lot of technicians. They signed after my dad gave the message, and a lot of these people that impact my life. James Ritchie is here, Luke Price, Tom Price, Ken Garrison, Rick Hammer, Don Kavanagh, Dan Tocco, Francisco was here too that day. I love you, Francisco, too, man. And my brother Ringo, Maria from A1, and more people that I don't know. So in the back of this shirt right here is part of like the message that we were given that day. So this is not only a phrase or a slogan, it's a word from the scripture. And it says, but remember the Lord your God, because it is He that gives you the power to be successful.
Amen. Yeah.
So yeah, that's what it has, our back and our front, because if He's giving us not only the strength or the capacity, but the power, we want to give Him back the recognition and the glory. So you guys know me already. It's not about being religious or spiritual, just having
Yeah.
that connection
Absolutely.
So I
Well, John,
appreciate you guys a lot.
I really appreciate you coming on. I know, like, I think Manny and I were getting ready to go live at MTE, and you and your dad were walking by, and we were chatting real quick.
Yeah, yeah,
I
we had a
appreciate you
3-minute
coming on, man.
conversation.
You know, I
Yeah,
appreciate
for
you coming
sure.
on. It's been fun, and I definitely want to spend some more time with you at MTE this year. So we'll have to plan that out.
Let's do it. Let's do it for you, Manny, too. Hey, I took a selfie with Manny that day.
Yeah, we sure did. So I told Ryan, I was like, man, let's get him on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Well, we'll see. Maybe my dad, I don't know, maybe sometime this year he's willing. But meanwhile, I'm gonna work on that link that you were saying. So shout out to everybody. We love this industry. We pray for this industry. We pray for our families. We pray for, for that passion to not die, but to strive. So we do pray with my dad. So that's a
Thank
blessing.
you.
That's a privilege. That's an honor that we have. We don't have to. We get to do that. And
Thank you.
yeah, thank you guys for bringing me in. I appreciate you a lot.
Absolutely.
And thank your
Thank
father.
you, Jonathan, for coming on.
No,
Yes.
definitely thank your father for everything. You know, it's been a hell of a road for a lot of us. So it's just thank him.
I will.
Thank you
I
for
will.
coming
I will
on.
definitely will. Yeah. I send you guys big hug.
Thank you,
See you
Jonathan.
later.
Love you, bro. We'll see
Love
you
you too,
again
guys.
in MTE.
See ya.
Yeah. Let's
Man, that was awesome.
That was a good one. That was a good one. An hour and 36 minutes, and it was still rolling. I felt like we could go even longer.
That's what I was just going to say. I feel like we could have gone another hour easily.
Yeah, but
I think
his
it would
dad's
be cool
story. It needs to be told because there's a lot of guys that don't know. So
I think that it would be cool if we had a chance or an opportunity to bring him on.
Yeah, we do have a upcoming episode with Maria. So another positive vibes. She's not been involved as much in social media, and she's been doing really well. So she's always so positive. I want to get her back on here and just have another, good conversation with her. So we got some good shows coming up. Manny, you have a great night.
Thank you, Ryan.
I've got to get to bed.
Dude, I am like sweating over here. I don't know if you see me pull my shirt, dude. It is hot. So
go get in your van and get some AC. Everybody, thank you so
guys.
much for watching. Keep it real.
Yes, thank you everyone for tuning in.
And we will see you on the next one. See you guys.
All right. See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Ryan.